All right, if you're a student from the 2024 to 2026 batches and you've got your sights set on a career at TCS, then you have come to exactly the right place. We're about to give you the complete roadmap for crushing the TCS National Qualifier Test and landing one of their amazing top-tier jobs.
So, let's start with the big question. Why is this test such a huge deal? Well, it's because TCS isn't just offering any old job. We're talking about high-impact roles with some seriously premium paychecks. Let's take a look at what's really on the table.
And there it is. Just look at these numbers. For postgrads, the prime roles are pushing nearly 12 lakhs per annum. Even for undergrads, the digital roles start north of 7 LPA. I mean, this isn't just an entry-level gig. This is a massive career launchpad right from day one.
Okay, so you see the prize. Now, how do you actually get it? Well, the first big hurdle you've got to clear is the TCS National Qualifier Test, or NQT. Understanding this test is absolutely key, so let's break it down, piece by piece.
So here's the deal. The NQT is one single integrated test that's going to take you 190 minutes. And listen up, because this is super important. If you're aiming for those awesome prime or digital offers, the advanced section is not optional. You absolutely have to attempt it, and of course, you have to do well in it. It's that simple. First up is the foundation section. Think of this as the part that checks all your core skills. We're talking about your fundamental quant skills, profit and loss, that kind of thing, plus all your essential programming logic like OOPS, data structures, and algorithms. But it doesn't stop there. The foundation section will also test your verbal skills with things like sentence completion and your reasoning ability, covering everything from interpreting data to coding. It's a really thorough check to make sure you've got the basics down cold.
Okay, now let's move on to the second part, and this is the one that's really your golden ticket to those top jobs. This is a 115-minute section focused on advanced quantitative and reasoning ability, and this is the big one, advanced coding. This is where you prove you're ready for the really complex next-gen projects.
Now for what I think is probably the most important part of your entire preparation. It's all about connecting the dots, right? It's about bridging that gap between what you learn in a classroom and what they're actually going to ask you in that high-pressure interview.
So you might see a concept like relational algebra in your textbook and think, oh, this is so academic. But check this out. This is why it matters. That theory is the direct foundation for the practical SQL queries that you'll be writing in a real job and, yep, in your interview too. Let's take another one, normalization. It sounds complicated, but at its heart, it's just about organizing your data efficiently. You're trying to reduce repetition and make sure your data is clean and reliable. It's basically the foundation of good, professional database design. And boom, here's the proof. They won't just expect you to know how to do it, they will straight up ask you to define it. This is a real question pulled from a real TCS technical interview. It shows you exactly how that classroom theory becomes a real-world test. And they're going to probe to see how deep your understanding goes. For example, you need to know that relational algebra is procedural, meaning you tell the system how to get the data. Relational calculus, on the other hand, is non-procedural. You just tell it what data you want. That's a critical difference they'll expect you to know. Okay, so let's imagine you absolutely aced the NQT. What's the final stage? It's the interview. And here's the thing you need to know. It's actually a combination of technical, managerial, and HR rounds, all happening together in the same session. So in the technical part, be ready for some very direct, very practical questions. They're not just checking if you know SQL. They're testing if you have a precise understanding of what different commands do and the exact impact they have on a database. Then they'll pivot to the managerial round, and this is where they're looking for more than just coding skills. They want to see your perspective. How do you think about technology on a massive scale? How would you tackle the kinds of data challenges a giant company like Facebook faces every single day?
And you can bet you'll be asked to perform on the spot. They'll give you a practical problem-solving challenge, like writing a query to find the third highest salary. This is where they test if you can think logically and apply what you know, right there, under pressure.
All right, you've got the knowledge, you know the goal. So let's get down to the practical steps you need to take to make this whole thing a reality.
The application process itself is actually pretty straightforward. It's a 6-step process on the TCS Next Step portal. You log in, you apply for the drive, make sure you pick the IT category, choose your preferences, and then this is important, track your status to make absolutely sure it says applied for drive. Don't skip that last check.
Now this is the part you really need to pay attention to, the dates.
Registration is already open, but it slams shut on March 20th, 2026. The tests start just a little bit before that. That is a very tight window, people, so you really need to get moving on this.
Look, this is so much more than just another test. It's a clear-cut opportunity to lock in a high-impact, high-paying job with one of the biggest IT companies in India. It's your chance to start building a future-ready career right out of the gate.
So if you remember one thing from all of this, make it that deadline. We've given you the complete roadmap, from the salaries to the test structure to the interview questions. The only question left is, are you ready to launch your career? Get that application in before March 20th.